Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm an artist. This is my 1988 Silver Eagle Model 15 bus. 4 years ago, the motor decided to let go on me, and I've been picking away at it ever since. Follow along with me as I try to get this bus back on the road and get into future projects. This is 11th Hour Custom. Alright, so we do a little bit of an update. The fuel lines are run and hooked up, and you can see it's a bit of a mess. And we're going to reroute this line and see if we can turn that valve a little bit. As of right now, this is going to hit the door. So we kind of want to go up here. So that looks better. And then we're like clear of the door now. This right goes to the left valve. This left goes to the right valve on the diagram. And the one with the supply to the other one, this is the shutoff. Then we got an air line that comes over and connects to this from the regulator in the side bin. And then we just gotta secure these lines that go here. So I'm bolting up the fan and the tensioner. One of the changes I made, this used to be a grease fitting here, and you used to have to climb back from under the muffler, hit my head on the clamp, and then get a grease gun here. So I got this grease fitting hose. This way I'll be able to reach it from right there. You can't get it in this bin here once the radiator's in. So that was a must, getting the bolts in. One of the things to keep moving on with this project and to try to get it running is buttoning up this driver's side here. The radiator, once the radiator is in here, I can't get back in this area because it takes up this whole bay. The more secure we make this side with the wiring harness, these pipes, a couple of the mounts, I have a list of things to do on this driver's side so we can move on. One of the things is to finish the generator exhaust. And I don't know if we can do that with the boards here. If you look, we got a transmission leak. I got to kind of research that and see where that's coming from. And before I move on to the transmission, go to my checklist here and check off what we did, because a lot of times just crossing out a line is the motivator to move on. The next is going to be the transmission leak. Crawl. So get this bracket on first, then we'll do the kick down, because I don't know how much fluid is going to come out of there. Let's try to get in a better position. So this is the shifter cable. We're just going to crank this down for now. Okay, I think that's good. So now this thing here, a little twist here. There we go, that's better. Put a new O-ring on there. It's nice and clean. I'm afraid I don't know how much fluid is going to come out of there. We want to do this in a one-shot deal. That's obviously where it's leaking from. Right here is where the fluid's coming from, right along that edge. We're going to get in position to jam this in. Now I'm going to go on the side of it. That's what I was afraid of. So that's where the fluid came from. No, this is as quick as possible. Little plastic caps are good. That was a bit of a mess. At least I didn't get it on my pants. Today is one of those days in the winter, and I gotta take advantage. It's so nice that I can leave the door open. So we are gonna focus strictly on the bus. I'll use the rope here to mock up kind of a belt. So you can see, like, that'll give us a couple inches there. I don't know if that'll slap that because it's too loose. I think that'll work. It's straight. You can't get any straighter than that. So that bracket will work. That's the alternator mount. So this is what I'm thinking about. Getting a longer bolt. Rebending this dipstick to kind of go like this. And, you know, moving the mount over. And I think that may be strong enough, and then we'll have adjustment here. Now it's the perfect time to change out this ceremonial piece with the oil fill neck. That's plenty sturdy. Off with the old and on with the refurbished. So there's our updated oil filler. Well, I changed the color of the dipstick tube now is like is this color. So here's the new tube. It's a little darker than that color. So there's our 3 yellow checkpoints for dum-dums. I put a battery charger on here and energize the electrical system and run some tests on the starter button and stuff and see if I happen to solve the issue with the starter button. We got the battery charger hooked up to the electrical panel. All right, this is gonna seem really dumb. Now this is a problem that's been giving me issues for years and years when the bus was running before it ever blew up. When I used to start the bus, I would jump her out from here to there and it would start. And the button had voltage on it, but it wasn't getting to the starter. So I went back through it and I was checking out where this green wire 44 runs to this switch. And I rewired most of this and I'm like, man, could it be that stupid? So I went over here and I flicked the switch and I pushed the button and you'd see that's how it was. Now I put it to on and the starter wire's getting juice. I think it was a couple of these wires were bad and I redid some of them. I guess maybe I fixed it because I wasn't getting that solenoid click. So all these years and it couldn't have been just the switch. I'm sure there was something else that was bad. There was a ton of burnt wires in the wiring harness. So when I was up front, I pushed the starter button and I could hear it clicking back here. So I'd say we're good to go. Man, that is such a relief. It feels so good. That problem's most likely solved. That's something that's been weighing on me for years and years. God, what a pain in the ass. I pulled out the air filter and we're straightening out this wiring mess. The most sensible thing to do right now is to finish the throttle linkage, which this thing goes on like so, underneath, actually, through here. Hey, Fatso. Hey, Fatso. All right, so in every Silver Eagle bus, they made these little mounts here that the hose or pipe will kind of run across so it doesn't move, and you could put a clamp around it. So there was 2 of these, one here and one there. So we're gonna put them back in, and they literally just had self-tapping screws in them. So this is our upper radiator pipe here, but you can see that wiring harness back there. This back here is in the way, so we're going to remount that, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get this in here. You can't have that like that, so we're going to move that over. So that's that. Maybe we could run a grease fitting hose from this pulley up to here and make a T. That's definitely a lot more convenient than what was there. So this is a little more reorganized. We put a clamp here, turn this clamp some, and then that opened up this room for the pipe. Slowly but surely. Right now we're going to clean up this bin. You can see it's pretty messy. I painted it years ago, and obviously the bus has been sitting a while. So I'm gonna clean this bin up so I can get in there because it's nasty. There goes Bubs. Hey, I'll go back there. Oops. And we're gonna clean this bin up, which is also a mess. The major thing I'm doing today is just installing the adapters in the valve. They don't even have to be mounted, just so I can shut them off. I don't have to drain the antifreeze system to work on the heating stuff. So this way we can keep going. There's the 2 ends soldered on. So we go from 3/4 to 1/2 inch or 5/8 hose. All right. That was what it scared the crap out of me. Hey, Jared. What are you doing? Hmm? The new bends I got, and this is the old one. I don't have a new one of these, so I'm gonna cut this one off and clean it up really good. We're gonna try to mock up this exhaust pipe. I'm gonna make some new muffler mounts because it really was just hanging from the pipe. So I'm gonna try to get some wood blocks and get this shimmed up to where it needs to be. We're gonna try to figure out something with this nightmare. What? And that'll be the new mount. There's a tab right there that's welded on the muffler. And then we'll come up with something here at the front. So it fits like right between them rails. And the reason why I'm putting this muffler in first, the gen exhaust has to go next to it. So we want to get this exactly where it's going to go. And the pipe off the turbo is going to dictate that. So you would think those mounts go like that. So we got to come up with a better clamping system for this muffler. This is going to be tough. I ordered these from a company called Zorro, which were to replace the vibration isolator. I think they were like $9 a piece. And then we're gonna create something new, like maybe a squeeze clamp. And I'm gonna put one in the back and these two in the front, a total of 3. Hey, na, 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 na. Get a square and draw a line and cut this with that, and then we'll make a pipe to fit that. And we cut that there and get a straight piece with a flange to go on here. We can weld those two together there. Who's that? Who is that, Paul? Not too bad. The gapping don't look too bad. Nothing's touching. The mount's on. This on. For now. This is something that's on my checklist. Is airing this thing up and seeing if, first of all, if there's any leaks, because I have an air hose here that dead ends and there's no air coming out of it. We could probably eliminate it. But what I'm going to do is put the battery on it, energize the electrical system, and turn the key and make sure I have the solenoids wired correctly. See, the shutoff one's out. I'm guessing that one's working. So when we turn the key on, that should come off. We are at 60 PSI. Right. The battery's hooked up. I'm going to turn the key on through the window here. I just heard the solenoid work. If the right one retracted, they're correct. Something worked. Sweet. So the shutoff went back. So this one, the high idle one, should go out if I switch the high idle one on. High idle. Sounds like there's a leak. Oops. Now there wasn't a plug in there. That piston's out. So that's the high idle. So I have the plumbing right. That's a successful test. Yeah. That's a check off my list. Put new belts on. This is the trick. Inside, I learned this the hard way. At the cost of my fingernail. Inside's on. Here's the tricky part. Outside's on. Inside. On the hub. It's clear. Now I just gotta tighten the tensioner. I threw the radiator shroud on there just so I can make new hold downs for it. So I'm looking at it now and I think I'm just gonna make straps and just sandwich it in there. And then it looks like there was a couple mounts off these studs. So we'll probably make new one of those. I'm Bubs. I re-glassed some of this to reinforce it and all. It was really flimsy. Hi, Fatso. Yeah, that's been on my list of to-do things, was making new mounts. From paper to steel. Now these are the brackets I made yesterday. You can see the holes are a little offset because of the tanks are in the way, but all four brackets are the same. And this is what was on there originally, was a piece of aluminum along with touching steel and aluminum. That's what happens. So because they're dissimilar metals, but that's garbage. So in preparation of putting radiator in, I'm putting these covers on the transmission lines. Something that should have been done ahead of time. Do this one, put this one back, put the airbox drain on from that block, and then do the lower line. I just want to show you the bottom side of the transmission lines. That's where I safety wired these. You can see, look how close the oil filter is to the muffler. That's something I'd like to build a heat shield for. It's not laying on the frame rail now. I don't know if you can see my hand in there. There's a rub mark there where it used to be. I'm gonna get that tightened up and the lines on, and then move into the airbox drain and stuff and get that done so I can put the radiator in today. And I'm gonna make a new hose and run up and over to the airbox drain, and then that's basically it for this side. The radiator can go in. This is all laid out nice. The valve shuts off. It's only been 5 years. Can you hold the top and I'll pull the jack, all right? Get out. I'm in tight too.
Well, something's not right. It's like bent.
I know. Well, it was tight coming out. So let me get another jack. Okay, hold that.
And now you should have room now. Moved it a lot. I'm in on my side.
Okay.
Both bolts. On your side?
Oh. My side's in now, but. Huh?
Where's your socket? Your gun.
I can't get a socket on this.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah.
Man, it looks like it's touching.
Touching the core? Did it damage it?
I don't think it damaged it.
It looks like my side's touching.
Yeah.
I remember, like, this isn't the fan that came with this bus. He put the plastic fan on there.
The only thing we could do is take it out, back out, and cut those mounts out and move it like a 1/4 inch towards the side of the bus so it gives you more room.
If I'd have known this, I would have changed it. That's what I'm wondering if I should just... It's in. I had to die grind out those slots to another 3/8 of an inch. And thank God my brother was here. I wouldn't have done that by myself. I probably would have left it ride. There's about a 1/4 inch gap between the hub of the fan and core. Let's check for leaks. The worst place to put shit. I think we got that on camera. Everything pouring out, dude. No. We're moving along. There's about 20 gallons of antifreeze in it. And it's up to the top of the radiator. And I know that because it started leaking. I unbolted the power steering reservoir and dropped it down just so I can fill it up, and then I'm going to remount it. I think that's the easiest way to do it. I said there was a leak. Granted, I climbed in to this cavity, and I'll show you in a minute. That's why I have this camera. It's back there dripping. Let me get you in there. I'm going to try to get up there. I think the connector is in it. Fitting for the compressor. I think it's 7/8. What's this? It's so damn tight I can't get my other arm in. That's like a steady drip. How does one of those leak? Right here. One line. And everything's in the way. I don't know if there's a nick in it. The fitting must be bad. We'll have to get a new one. Yeah, it's just steady dripping. Alright, now I gotta get out of here. Just gonna have to drip. I'll put a pan under it. At least it's not the block or anything. I guess it could be worse. This thing's sitting on blocks. If it was on the ground, I wouldn't be able to get under here. Shit. Oh, come on. God damn it. Let me show you what caused that leak, and you wouldn't think it, you know, unless it happens to you. Let me see if I can get a clear shot. So right on that edge is a little vein. What? So that must have been causing the drip. That oil pressure gauge looks like shit. I want to get the right gauge. VDO is the gauges that are in here, and obviously you're not going to get them with an eagle on it. And there's a superstition in me to say to not run that gauge just because of the luck I had with the old one. I'm changing this sending unit so we can put the new gauge in. Okay, so that's that. It matches somewhat the other fonts, and it's black with a black face. This is the oil pressure gauge here. The red number 78 you see a lot on the Silver Eagle. I don't know if they're all the same, but on this bus that's a common hot leg. Now these two, we could probably get rid of these leads because that's a ground, that's a positive. We don't need those. These are adapters that I guess they put on too. We can get rid of all that. Go back to push-ons. Okay, so that's it. That's out. That ugly, ugly gauge is out. Oh God, is it ugly? Oh God. Nice. How about that? Fits right in there. Whoa. A little simpler install. I guess you get what you pay for. As long as it works, I guess. That's a hot leg. And then this is the ground. Well, good thing they ran these little tails. So this is the only one we got to change. Number 73. So we'll clip that off. We'll put a new one on. And goodbye, ugly. I try to save as much wire as I can, but sometimes you can't do that. When you're crimping it like this style, I always try to put the bump on the bottom and then the curved part of the crimper on the split side. And that's it. That is the gauge. How nice is that? That was the one superstitious piece I had left. I'm glad it's changed. This is what we tried to button up. Put some clamps on the ceiling and zip ties and tried to make it as nice as I could for now. Right now, we're going to put this gasket in, new, take the valve covers off, pull the air intake off, fill the reservoir again, then pull the air cleaner off. Check the rack, make sure all the injectors are free, and then we'll try putting the batteries in and turning it over. Just if anything, get oil pressure up. This is when I realized the starter button issue problem hasn't been solved. I'm gonna check the injectors, make sure they're all free on this side. Those are good. We got 3 problems. One is there's a hornet or something building a nest over there and he's stalking me. 2 is this battery's about to die. And 3 is that one injector in the front there. See it? This one here. It's not frozen, it's just stiff. So we gotta work that. So like the back one was stuck too. The other side was good. We'll leave the air cleaner off for tonight. I'm gonna try to get the exhaust buttoned up. And then tomorrow we're gonna really let it have it and see if she kicks off. It was turning over. Just a quick explanation. I hooked a battery charger to it because I thought maybe the batteries were weak, being there, 2015. They're all good. They were like 13 volts, but I didn't know, amperage wise if they were good or not. But so I put the battery charger on it. I bumped it up, and then I flicked this switch a couple times, and then sure enough, boom, it worked with the starter button. And it scared the crap out of me that it turned over. I mean, the battery cables are somewhat good. They just got to be clamped and all. I had to make one new cable going from the grounding point here to the starter, which I think is better than the way it was set up. I mean, for now, that'll work. I just want to get it running, and I will see you tomorrow. At this point, I thought I had fuel up and into the fuel filter, but little did I know I didn't. Look, smoke on the tailpipe. Wants to start. It's better it's build a little oil pressure before it really kicks off. The first time I shot ether in it. Yikes. My battery exploded, blew a breaker, and I had the block heater on. I had a feeling it was going to start, but now I know it wasn't turning over so easy. One of the batteries is probably shorted out. Guess I should have load tested these batteries. This one just exploded. Holy shit. They're just smoking. I wonder why it won't start without the charger. So this is the one that exploded. Whoa. That was loud. So we're gonna load test these. That one's good. That one's bad. I'll show you. See, it went right to bed. So that one can't handle load. and take that one out of the scenario. Another explosion. So there's the setup we got now. We'll see if that other one holds up. I should try this the way it is. I was trying to get the air out of the injectors yesterday. We had a little explosion with one of the bad batteries. So I learned my lesson. Got 4 new ones. We'll put them in. After all the attempts at trying to start it, it caused the solenoid to go bad. The old solenoid was 24 volts, but I don't know if that made a difference or not. This system's 12 volts. See if I got most of the air out of the injectors. If not, I'm going to put a vacuum pull on the return side of the injector system on the top of the motor, and then try to pull the air out there and then try to fire it again. But I think that's definitely the problem. So we got to put this shunt in. So we're good ground. Positive leads on. Power's on, starter's on, lights work. Years. New gauge is working. Got air pressure. High idle's not working. I'll have to check that out. Temperature looks like it's coming up a little bit. Let's go check the back.